The Yangtze, stretching 3,900 miles, is the world's third longest river. It flows through China's heart, sustaining 400 million people and 40% of the economy. But one day the water vanished. Its level dropped to historic lows, exposing the mighty riverbed. Where life once thrived, only mud and stones remained. Millions of fish died from suffocation. That's when China made a desperate decision: release hundreds of millions of fish into the dying waters. This is that story. In April 2011, China faced its worst drought in half a century. The middle and lower Yangtze shrank to record lows. Over 244 million acres of farmland were destroyed. More than 2,300 lakes fed by the Yangtze were declared dead. 5 million people and countless livestock were left without water. The economic impact was devastating. 34 million people affected, 2.3 billion in direct losses. Something had to be done. First, they tried cloud seeding, launching 36 operations to summon rain. It worked in some places, bringing heavy rainfall. But it wasn't enough. Clouds moved too fast or drifted in wrong directions. You can't make rain without clouds. Next, they opened the Three Gorges Dam floodgates, increasing water discharge by 20%. That's 1.3 trillion gallons daily, equal to England's Lake Windermere, sent downstream to dying fields. Then nature struck back. In June, torrential rains hit southern China. Instead of relief, provinces faced devastating floods. Nearly 700,000 people were evacuated. Over 100 died. It was the worst flood since 1955. The Yangtze Basin hosts over 1,000 species, 370 fish species, 220 bottom-dwelling animals, hundreds of aquatic plants. The drought practically wiped them out. Lake Poyang, usually 33 feet deep, nearly dried up. The surface cracked with gaps 3 inches wide. Between them lay dead snails, plant scraps, and fish carcasses. With spawning season approaching, there were no shallows left for eggs, no refuge for surviving fish. The endangered Yangtze finless porpoise suffered most. With only 1,249 left in 2022, the drought left them stranded and starving in a dead river. China's response was unprecedented: release 1.3 billion tiny fish into the Yangtze. The $46,000 operation involved 5 provinces and focused on 4 species: black carp, grass carp, chubs, and bighead carp, eaten since the Tang dynasty. But fish weren't enough. They planted 22,230 acres of underwater plants to clean and balance the water, plus released 21 million mollusks as natural filters. Together, these created conditions for fish to survive. Before release, fish are carefully raised in stages. Take the Chinese sturgeon, an ancient species now critically endangered. Scientists breed captured wild sturgeon in captivity. Young fish start in controlled land-based pools with filtered well water. As they grow, they move to open ponds for rewilding, learning natural behaviors. Finally, they enter holding ponds with river water to adjust before release. For backup, China created biological Noah's Arks, conservation centers storing tissue samples, cells and DNA and liquid nitrogen at 321 degrees. If the environment fails completely, they can restore species from these genetic vaults. Despite massive restocking efforts, the Yangtze's fish population kept shrinking. The catch dropped from 430,000 tons in 1954 to below 100,000 tons in 2011. By 2019, no Chinese sturgeon, white sturgeon, or baiji dolphin attempted reproduction. The paddlefish, missing for 17 years, was declared extinct. In 2020, China imposed a complete 10-year fishing ban on the Yangtze, affecting 200,000 people and seizing 100,000 boats. The ban covers the main river and all major tributaries, giving populations time to recover through 2 to 3 generations. Enforcement is intense: daily patrols, night raids with night vision, drones monitoring violators. Some former fishermen now work as inspectors. The good news? The Yangtze provides less than 1% of China's freshwater fish, so markets aren't affected. But early signs show population recovery and increased biodiversity. Investigations revealed nobody really knows how to release fish properly. Different groups, government, companies, volunteers release whatever they want, wherever they want. Sometimes non-native species, sometimes just cheap fry to meet quotas. Without proper studies or coordination, some species might vanish while others multiply uncontrollably. The balance they wanted to restore gets wrecked again, all because they started fixing the river by guesswork. The Yangtze sits at its limits. Overfishing, pollution, and damming have done their damage. The 10-year fishing ban might be the river's last chance. Combined with continued fish releases and ecosystem restoration, there's hope. But time is running out. In a decade, we'll know if China's billion-fish gamble paid off, or if one of the world's great rivers died on our watch. The Yangtze's future hangs in the balance, and with it the fate of countless species that call this ancient waterway home.